into boom. Look at this guy. It's like he knows what he's doing. I absolutely love that. By the way, I just want to throw it out there that Mike Wallace definitely texted me 40 minutes ago to say, hey, we have a meeting. I said, I look forward to it. And Mike Wallace is not here. Even better. Even better. All right, wonderful. We got our welcome going on. Just let you know, Raymond, I definitely emailed you about, we already sold those 70 tickets. I already said, put my wife and I down in the initial email. So want to make sure that we have that going on. All right, then let's jump into it. Where are we? 15-second introductions from our club members. So let's start with Raymond.
Raymond Foster. I'm the immediate past president of the Noon Rotary Club here in San Dimas, as well as the president of the Rotary Foundation, a secretary of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, which is a really terrible job, by the way, and past master of the Masonic Lodge here in San Dimas.
You know, that's you were the sucker that took it. That's the best way I can put it.
And the only Coast Guard veteran all of us know. So there you go.
Yeah, you're basically it. Yeah. I only knew one before you, so good for you. And then we have Isabel. Go for it.
Isabella Foster, second year Rotarian, second generation Rotarian, and hopefully the third generation's right here.
There it is. And Glenn, you're up.
Glenn Johnson, member of Satellite Rotary Club and the secretary of the Masonic Lodge in San Dimas.
Love all of it. And our guest tonight is obviously Chris Irwin from the Navy SEAL Foundation. As I like to do, I don't like to read your bio out loud. I know you're about to do all of that right now, so I don't like to waste your time. So with that said, sir, I'd like to have you jump on in and talk about the Navy SEAL Foundation.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having me. Why don't I share my screen here? Let me make sure I got it right. And move it. Is everyone seeing that correctly? Hopefully. Okay, so I am Chris Irwin, as they said. I'm the communications director for the Navy SEAL Foundation. I'm a retired SEAL as well. And so I'm going to take you kind of through an overview of the foundation and do a little bit of personal experience as well, just kind of ways that it's impacted me and things that I've seen along the way, not only as a veteran, but as somebody who works there as well. So just to start off, our mission, we provide critical support for the warriors, veterans, and families of Naval Special Warfare. Naval Special Warfare is what people think of as the SEAL community. But it is special, it is SEALs, and it's also boat operators and enablers as well. So SWCCs, what we call SWCCs, Special Warfare Combatant-craft Crewmen as well. And so we were established in 2000 as a national nonprofit. We started off with just one scholarship way back then, right before September 11th. And at this point, we have about a $30 million annual operating budget and over 35 programs. Since our inception, we've invested over $143 million in programmatic support for the community. And that obviously continues to grow. We're a very highly rated charity. So Charity Navigator is an independent organization that ranks and rates charities on kind of financial accountability and transparency. We've had a 4-star rating since 2009. We've had a perfect score since 2014. We rank higher than 99.9. It's actually like 0.95% of any charity in the country out of like the 200,000 or so that are actually ranked by Charity Navigator. There's less than 100 that get a perfect score in any year. And like I said, we've had that for almost 10 years at this point. And 94 cents of every dollar donated is retained for future mission use or is used for our programs. This is who we serve. So it's really the entire gamut of anybody in NSW. That's active duty, it's reservists, it's veterans, it's their families and families of the fallen. It's about 25,000 or so people that we potentially can support. And actually that number also continues to grow. Obviously, it's kind of the veteran population gets bigger and bigger. for the longest time, we support post 9/11 veterans. I think that's important to point out. Otherwise, that number would be a little bit bigger. But those programs, again, sort of continue to grow over time. And I should just mention, we have over 500 Gold Star family members. So that's families of the fallen, and that is spouses, that's parents, that's children, that's siblings. And we have a whole bunch of specialized programs that are just for them. These are our pillars of support. So we have 5 of them: strength, resilience, health, education, and community. And then under those, like I said, we've got about 35 programs that are spread across those pillars of support. So just a quick overview of each one of these. So strength, those are things like respite care, which is like someone's deployed and the people that are back home, spouse, and children need kind of help there. We do pre and post deployment events with the commands. We do a lot with career transition, and we actually fund or grant other organizations to help with that, things like the Honor Foundation. We have a veteran crisis assistance fund. It's $2,500 that like any veteran in crisis at all for pretty much any reason can ask for that and get it. Resilience is kind of our Gold Star programs. And man, that goes anywhere from sort of what it says here, like legal assistance, financial assistance, to immediate tragedy assistance. So we fly family members for the various funeral arrangements, because believe it or not, a lot of that isn't covered by DoD. We have a whole bunch of camps that are for kids, and some of that spreads over to community, but for the Gold Star kids specifically, they have their own camps that we hold every year. They're just for the children of the fallen. It's a really important thing for them to be able to kind of get together with people that have shared that experience. Under health, we've got a lot of stuff that's devoted to both mental and physical health. I would say the biggest thing right now is a program we have called the Warrior Fitness Program, and that's a 4 to 6 week program. I've got some images I'll show you here on our new facility, but 4 to 6 week program that's kind of like a mental physical reboot, so to speak, where we're just taking guys, whether they are wounded or injured and still active duty and kind of need extra rehab to get back into the mix, or they're veterans, and even if they've been out for a long time, can go through this program. And we see tremendous success in terms of getting guys physically capable again, mentally capable again, addressing things like traumatic brain injury and other mental health concerns. It's a really incredible program. It started on the East Coast, and we just built a West Coast facility, multi-million-dollar facility on the West Coast. It's right next to Padres Stadium in San Diego, and it's like a NFL, like top of the line kind of facility. You can't really go in there probably, but it's pretty amazing what's going on there. And that just started up. Actually, we have the grand opening here around Veterans Day. Education, like I said, we started off with just scholarships, just one scholarship. And at this point, we have 2 cycles a year, hundreds of scholarships we give out. Really don't turn anybody down. Pretty much everybody gets some measure of scholarship there. And then we do other things under there as well, like remote grants. So a lot of times if a family is stationed somewhere where the schooling isn't kind of up to snuff, we will help with like tutoring or whatever it needs to happen to make sure the kids don't get behind because the parents have to be stationed somewhere. And then we do other things too, like transition education. And then Gratitude Initiative is a thing where basically we're helping kids of NSW get ready for SATs, things like that. And then we have a whole bunch of kind of community stuff, whether that's getting veterans together who feel kind of like they get out and they have this loss of team feeling, getting them together, kind of legacy support in terms of memorials and monuments and things like that. Various holiday events. We have a whole like breakfast with Santa around Christmas, and Princess and her Frogs, like a daddy-daughter dance type thing, that type of thing. This is just some images of our Warrior Fitness program that's in San Diego. And I can't even do it justice really in slides. I'd have to have like 50 slides just showing all the pictures of this facility, but it's really remarkable. Top of the line kind of exercise stuff, fitness stuff, and recovery things as well. So there's like cold tank and hot tub and light things and compression sleeves and you name it, it's in there, and all sorts of practitioners as well. We have a whole upstairs there where guys are, they're meeting with therapists, and they're getting various body work and things like that. I'm just going to show a quick video. Hopefully this will work. I'm going to figure, we'll see if this links out. Yep.
The Navy SEAL Foundation is a national nonprofit that supports the Naval Special Warfare community, which includes the active duty SEALs and SWCCs, their families, and our SEAL and SWCC veterans. The Navy SEAL Foundation developed its programs under 5 pillars: strength, resilience, health, education, and community. Each of those pillars represents our objectives. And under those pillars are more than 30 unique programs that are designed to provide critical support to our warriors, families, and veterans.
We want to look at what are the needs of the community, and can we adapt our programs, or can we create something new to meet the needs that are going on right now?
We work closely with Naval Special Warfare. We work closely with the families, with our survivors, with our veterans. We listen, we learn, and we develop our programs based on all of that input.
We have an advantage in our community that there are programs like these. I always phrase it, the foundation operates quietly in the background, not a lot different than we do. We know they're always there.
Just knowing that the Navy SEAL Foundation is out there advocating for us in all fronts, mental, physical well-being for the spouses and their families, it means so much.
NSF does a very good job of understanding the culture, understanding where the concerns and the problems lie, and adapting their programs in empirically evidence-based ways.
Looking forward, we don't know what Naval Special Warfare is going to be doing in the future, but I know that the Navy SEAL Foundation will ensure that the community is strong.
Okay. I just realized too that we're a little dated on that. The 93 cents was last year. This video is on YouTube, so we can't update it in that regard. But so we're now at 94 cents, so we're getting even better, getting even leaner in terms of our expenses. Okay. This is just showing you kind of the spread of where our money goes, funds raised. So like I said, we had $20 million in terms of direct program support last year. That fluctuates, but usually it's about that 20 to 25 million, something like that. And it's pretty evenly spread around those various pillars, just kind of showing you how that lines up. We have a lot of programmatic partners. We have a very small staff. We have only about 20-ish people. I think it's a little more than that at this point, maybe 21, 22. And so we rely heavily actually on other organizations to be able to do things that we don't do internally. That's kind of what makes us lean and able to move quickly and things like that. So we have a lot of partners where we will say, okay, we're going to work out a relationship with you, and then we're going to send you to this program through this. We're going to pay for it, obviously, grant the money there, but then it's going to go through this program. So things like Headstrong, that's a mental health thing. I mentioned Gratitude Initiative. The Honor Foundation, that's a transition cohort thing. It's almost like a mini MBA that guys go through. Commit's also about transition. EM, that's Elite Meet. Some of these other ones in here, we work with the Navy SEAL Museum in terms of heritage. VHP is the organization that actually runs the Warrior Fitness program for us. They started, that's Virginia High Performance. And some of these other ones too. Some of these are sort of diagnostic things that we'll send guys to. Center for Brain Health, Home Base, Marcus Institute. That's all kind of diagnostic stuff that we send people to. And then on the other side, we have a lot of, call it fundraising partners, I guess, that will donate to us and like make merchandise that's got our logo on it, or they'll commit a certain amount of percentage of proceeds to us. We've had a long-standing relationship with Killcliff. I was actually the president there before coming to the Navy SEAL Foundation and formed that partnership. That was the first official partnership that the foundation ever formed or ever created, where we were donating a lot of money and we didn't have any, but it was great as a startup. It was founded by a SEAL, and that was kind of the idea behind that. So long-standing partner there. Luminox as well has been around for a long time, and some of these other ones. Great supporters, and we have the ability to bring on new partners too. So we're constantly getting ones that want to come into the fold, want to create something, we're really open to that. It's a great way to help kind of for a brand to show their support to us and us to support them in return. We have a lot of events around the country. These are just showing kind of some of our signature events, which are like big sit down sort of gala style fundraising events. Big ones, New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and then some smaller ones. But then we have a whole bunch of, if I had to put every single event on here, you wouldn't be able to read anything. So a whole bunch of third-party events where someone will come to us and say, hey, I want to host a fundraiser and support the foundation. You guys cool with that? Obviously, absolutely. We'll go through some parameters. And that's anything from an athletic event to like a clay shoot to what else? Golf. I guess golf is athletic as well, but it can really run the gamut. And we have a lot of, it's great to have supporters out there that are willing to do this, you know, for no, they don't get any financial gain out of it whatsoever. They're just doing it completely on a volunteer basis. Last 3 slides here, just showing that we, again, have a very extensive sort of network of advisors and officers. So here's our board, board advisors, a lot of former admirals, force master chiefs, and then honorary board as well. So, and then we have a whole, I mean, I could go on here. We have a whole list of ambassadors as well beyond that. So just a sort of extended network that helps us out. There's our website if you want to learn more. And I just want to close here with a couple, just kind of a couple personal stories here. One is just personally as a veteran, as a SEAL, I was somebody who had a lot of mental health kind of issues and chronic illness problems post-service. And the Navy SEAL Foundation is one of a few organizations that really stepped in to help me. And they certainly led the way in that regard. So I was sent to that Warrior Fitness program, spent 4 weeks in Virginia Beach, going through all that. They sent me to multiple diagnostic centers. They sent me to the Marcus Institute. They sent me to home base to kind of check on things. I mean, just a full gamut kind of diagnostics of brain health and things like that. And then paid for a whole bunch of therapies that I was, you know, that I kind of had to go after because they were alternative to some extent. And they were willing to support me in that. So it made a huge difference in my veteran experience to have the foundation behind me. And then just on the kind of Gold Star side and Families of the Fallen, just some of the things I've seen. When I went through SEAL training back in 1998, I'm dating myself. One of the guys in my BUDS class was a guy named Nate Hardy. So Nate was I think he was probably 18 at the time. He was a kid from New Hampshire. I'm from Massachusetts. So we got along in that regard. He was actually a rollback. So second phase, you can get guys that sort of made it through a certain portion and then they got injured or whatever, and they're going to roll into your class. So he rolled into our class in second phase and then finished the class, graduated with us. Big, bright smile, like just super enthusiastic guy, fantastic athlete. And he went off to, I think, SEAL Team 8, and I went to SEAL Team 5. And so I didn't see him for years. Then I went through selection at somewhere else, let's just say. And in that process, met a guy named Mike Koch, who was an East Coast guy. I didn't know him at all. And then we sort of all ended up in the same unit together. And one night they were actually overseas. I was not. I got a call that I needed to come in, and they had both been killed in combat. So we do what we do to take care of the families. And I was actually one of the guys that went to Mike's fiance's house at the time to inform her, the guy in uniform, and did that duty. And again, didn't kind of, then I went off to a different place, like kind of scattered, things like that. 12 years later, I was at my first kind of big Navy SEAL Foundation sit down event. And at the New York City Gala, and I saw Kathy, who was Mike's fiance, who I'd done that informing for 12 years ago. And she was there because she was still being taken care of by the Navy SEAL Foundation. And just as a fiance too, like they weren't even married. And to me, that just kind of highlighted what an enduring, the enduring care that the foundation provides for people. especially when they experience that loss. And I still see Kathy at events, and we're talking at this point, we're gosh, I don't know, 16, 17 years after the fact. So we're there for the long haul, to get people the care that they need. And that's kind of part of our mission. So anyway, I'll close there, turn it over for any comments, questions, concerns, saved rounds.
All right. Well, that was absolutely perfect. Going through the website at the same time, and I appreciate, yeah, even on the website, you guys are saying 93 cents, and you're doing even better than that. So
it
yeah,
just,
well
that literally just changed, like within the last 24 hours. So
you guys are doing even better. That's the answer. Is you're doing even better. So I'm really happy to hear that. You guys have spoken about the Gold Star camps for kids, and my question to that was, is it a once-a-year thing, couple-year thing? Like, how does that work?
We have them every year. And so are you talking in terms of like when the kids are eligible for it?
Well, I mean, I think there's like an idea, obviously, when they are on the Gold Star camps. In general, no, I didn't know if it was like a biannual or.
Oh, I see. So there's summer, there's summer camps. So we have, so there's ones for Gold Star kids, but then there's ones for just children of NSW as well. Like even my kids as a veteran were able to go to the Hawaii camp a couple years ago, which was really cool. Some of this stuff, right, like it's grown over time. So I've been off active duty since 2011. And a lot of this wasn't available back then as the foundation has grown. So some of this stuff I didn't get to take advantage of as active duty, but it's been great. Like that opportunity was fantastic to send my kids to camp out there in Hawaii, overnight camp for 5 days.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. Watching that video, I'm pretty sure I knew the guy in the video, which is pretty great.
Oh, really? Which guy?
I think I had somebody in there. I thought I saw that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, as we're saying though, my wife works in charity work. She works for Children's Hospital of Orange County. So to see charity nav at 94 cents to the dollar is incredibly impressive. That is, sometimes we have a good time just looking at some of the charities that are supposed to be fantastic companies, and you go, okay, well, let's look them up. And then we look it up and go, geez, Louise, that's a rough one. So at that 94 cents, wow, that's what a hell of a good job that you guys are doing. And then I just wanted to point out one last thing, which was the mental health portion of it, which I think is something we've been trying to work on, especially in the as military folks ourselves. And I'm glad to hear that this foundation is doing a phenomenal job with that. Like you were saying with yourself, I've been there myself also with PTSD from the wars and whatnot. And it's good to see that in this foundation, you guys are actually getting it knocked out. It's like, what a fantastic job to kind of already be acknowledging that, because man, oh man, they don't, first, how long did they not even look at something of that nature? So really happy to hear that.
Yeah, and I should mention, I didn't go over it in the presentation, but there's another thing we do called the Impact Forum, where it's specifically in the past, I mean, it can morph over time, but it has been about sort of mental and brain health. But it's a multi-day symposium where we're getting hundreds of practitioners together and really trying to lead the way and lead the conversation in terms of those treatments and modalities to help NSW in return. And so that's been a really incredible thing that we've been able to sort of, lead the way on.
Absolutely fantastic. That's what just a few notes that I took. I'm saying that's wonderful, in my opinion. I do know that Raymond's chomping at the bit. I know he has questions, and they're always better than mine. So, Raymond, with that said, there you go.
Well, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but
it is a compliment.
A couple of questions. Where are you going in the future, Chris? I mean, you've seen it really early on, and you've seen it grow. Where's it going in the future?
Well, I mean, wherever it needs to go, I think is the answer to that. So we try to stay on the leading edge of whatever the needs are for the community. And Robin even says it in that video. She says, I don't know what NSW is going to be doing in the future. None of us really can predict that. They might be called somewhere. Another war could break out. Who knows? So the point is, we just need to be kind of flexible and prepared for that, right? And that's kind of, I think, been our charge over time is we also don't want to keep a program going just because of legacy, just because we've always done it. If something is obsolete and no longer applicable, well, then we'll retire that program and we'll lean in on something else. And so I think that's like, as a kind of example there, there's been a shift where a lot of emphasis was on active duty. And because of sort of so many people having to transition out of combat and active duty into the veteran space, we've had to kind of take that on as well, without losing sight of everything we do for active duty, but examining what the needs are there, and then also realizing, hey, we've got this growing veteran population that we really need to be able to take care of from a kind of mental and physical perspective, and transition as well, right, from a career standpoint.
So we have quite a few speakers, and we've had connections with a number of groups. In fact, I'll be going for this group to 2 places in the next couple of weeks, and one of them is the Cal Enlisted Guard conference. They want us to come and present on what we're doing. And every time we have one of these groups, we find either at the head of the group or intimately involved are veterans. And I originally I thought as well, these are veterans issues, who knows better? And then I thought, well, veterans, guys, these are service-oriented people. But the more and more I hear, it seems that your service to the foundation is also part of your recovery. Have you found that to be, by staying involved, it helps veterans work through the things that have happened to them?
Yeah, I would say on a personal note, finding purpose post-service is a really important thing. So I was lucky to get linked up with Todd Ehrlich, who is the founder of Killcliff, that company I mentioned, who founded that company with the hope of being the largest contributor to the Navy SEAL Foundation. That's really what he wanted it to be. And it was an honor to be able to help make the partnership happen when I was there as president. And I think in my tenure there, we donated something like $600,000 between sort of product equivalencies and raising money and donating our own money. And that was that gave me a big sense of purpose. So once I left there, to be able to come over to the foundation full time and sort of continue that and obviously do it in a more direct way, I think was really helpful. I mean, the answer to your question is yes. I'm just drawing it out a little bit. But I just think that in general, that's a really important thing for a lot of veterans to be able to do, is find a mission post-service.
And I think that's true. What I'm not thinking about is my military service, because that was a long time ago. But the police service I was in for 25 years, and what I saw when somebody would lose a partner, whether it was a traffic accident or there was a gunshot wound, there was this survivor's guilt that set in with everybody around them, and that seemed to last a long, long, long time. Why wasn't it me? And so the more I talk to veterans, I see the same thing. And the only way that you get past that is to continue to give back, because you are here and they're not. And that's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's a lot of parallels between law enforcement and military, obviously. So yeah, those scenarios, certainly. Yeah.
That was it I just want to know about his journey, Dom. You got anything else you wanted to ask?
Well, I should open that question to anyone else that's here, Glenn or Mike or Bella. Anyone else have anything else to say?
I would like to offer, though, this Rotary group this is a satellite Rotary club, been in existence a little over a year, focused on originally fundraising for food drives. And we've gotten, every time we've done a food drive, we're doing them every 6 months, about 5 tons out to the food pantry at 29 Palms. And we're going to be taking up with down at Pendleton. And part of the bylaws of this group allow it a lot of leeway in veterans and military families. And so I'd like to see sometime in the future, if you have an event in Los Angeles or something, maybe think of us as, at the very least, a bunch of pairs of hands that could help out with something you have going on here. And I think that we'd love to be a resource for you in even any minor way.
Okay. That's great. I really appreciate that. We have an LA event, like a gala type thing. It doesn't happen every year. But we just had it in June. I don't know when the next time it will be. That's the biggest function we have there. And in terms of volunteer work for that, I don't know actually, but I can ask our development team what's required there. Outside of that, I would have to look at kind of what's going on again from a third party standpoint, if it's kind of the LA area, but there's probably something going on out there.
Which sounds fantastic. If I had to guess, you might be a little more, I don't know, San Diego based, if I had to guess. So.
Are we?
You know what I'm saying? I assume you do a few more events down that way.
Yeah, I mean, like one of our offices is in San Diego,
Right.
but in terms of like where we sort of operate, it's really nationwide. I mean, like it's the care certainly goes to probably more people in the San Diego area.
Might sound good.
Virginia
Maybe on the
Beach.
island there too.
Yeah, but in terms of where fundraising happens and where events happen, it's really nationwide.
Of course. Yes, I just assume with where you guys are over there on that island, you might have a little bit more going on over there, which is fair enough. With that, anyone have any other questions for Chris? Well, that was said, Chris, we appreciate you coming out and having this conversation with us. If you'd like to stay on, we appreciate that also. Other than that, we're gonna kind of move on with our committee reports and knock everything else out. If you have to go, we understand, but it's good to have you, and we appreciate learning all about what you folks were doing.
Okay.
Across country.
Yeah, great. No, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You got my contact info, so feel free to reach out. I might just stay on and listen for a little bit, but if I sign off, I got dinner here with the family. I'm sure my wife is going to call me here in a second. So
fair enough, and thank you for coming out. We appreciate all of it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. So then, with that said, we'll jump into our committee reports. Our 29 or the old 29 Palms resupply. We are kicking off the whole shebang here on a Thursday, and then actually doing the MIG drop on a Saturday over at the Masonic Lodge. I don't have the hours on the Saturday though, only on the Thursday. So what are our Saturday hours looking like?
9 to 3.
9 to 3.
Yeah,
wonderful.
And, you can count on most likely donuts in the morning and most likely pizza during the afternoon, but that's negotiable.
Everything you said sounds fantastic.
What time do we have to set up everything? Is that like at 8 or are we just doing it all, at 9?
No, we need to be there at least by 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. I can tell you that for the kickoff party, the LinkedIn event has 51 people who have RSVP'd for it just through that. There have been a number of people also through the Facebook event. So I hope that's people are looking forward to it. 5 cans of food and they get a beer, which kicks off the food drive there at High Point Brewery. What's it, 402 West Arrow Highway in San Diego?
There it is. That's it right there.
The Masonic Lodge is at 220 North Monte Vista. That'll be the drop off on the 30th. We've already received $1,200 in donations, which covers more than the budget for the event itself, which means we'll be writing a check out to the Armed Services YMCA out at 29 Palms. I also got a call today from a Mormon church that's collected they said a large pickup truck full of diaper and infant formula and some food and some gift cards. They'll be bringing it on to a special delivery Thursday or Friday, which if anybody wants a special large delivery, Glenn and I will make the lodge available Thursday and Friday, and we'll put it into the dining area there so that the volunteers on Saturday can begin the sorting and the boxing process for transportation out to 29 Palms on Monday, and that will take place as it does on Monday morning. So I think everything's in place to have a good event. The goal is smaller this time. It's only 3 tons, but I hope that with a full pickup truck is at least a half a ton, and that's just one donor. So I suspect we'll have a good turnout.
Yeah, quite a few more. Yeah, the Mormon Church has made this massive effort lately to really do a lot of donations. So the LDS is seeming to be something that we can realistically start to hit up, because man, oh man, do I not see them at a lot of charity events I have to attend, and they're making that effort. So that why not us?
Hey, is there, Glenn, are you planning on coming to the kickoff party at High Point Thursday night? Week
Yes,
from tomorrow?
plan on being there.
Okay, we kind of advertised it as 5 to 7. I, just plan on doing exactly like last time, pulling my truck around the back. We can just kind of throw everything in there, and I'm pretty flexible. We can take it right to the lodge Thursday night, or I can, drive my truck home, drive it back to the lodge Friday morning, whatever you guys want to do. I think it'd probably be best if we just go to the lodge and unload it, but whatever you guys want to do.
That I think sounds good. We'll unload it Thursday night.
I'll also be there on Thursday night, and I think it's a good idea, Mike. We take it straight over.
Yeah, I think that's the best. I just didn't want to inconvenience anybody.
Great.
Makes perfect sense.
Also, for 29 Palms, the Satellite Rotary Club sponsored Service Member of the Quarter, and that luncheon will be on the 27th. They've asked me again, is there anybody going to be there but me? And so far, no one has said yes. I know it's a long way to go out to 29 Palms and a long way to come back for lunch. But really, the reason I've been asked is that they're going to put me at the table with the new base commander. They got a new general that came in last month, and they've got a new chief of staff, a new full colonel that came in the last couple of months. And at the same table will be the president of the local Indian tribe, the one that's got the brand new casino out there. So you know what Patrick has planned for me. And so that's why he's put me at that table. But I wrote them a check for $500 to sponsor the Service Member of the Quarter for them. It'll be I think it's 2 or 3 different categories. We'll be holding awards. So anybody who want to go, I'm going to ask one more time. Otherwise, I'm going to just RSVP solo.
I can't make it. Otherwise I would go. I'm actually presenting at a Cal Poly economics class.
I would be there, but it is my birthday, and my wife has decided that I have to go do stuff on my birthday, which I think is nonsensical, and she knows I feel that way. But at a certain point, I've learned that if my wife says I'm doing something, I'll be doing exactly that thing.
Yeah,
So
don't fight that. Don't fight that.
No. It's not even a good birthday. It's not like I'm turning 40. I'm turning 38. It's completely nonsensical. But my wife said I'm going to be doing something. I said, oh, okay, love, whatever you'd like. So that's where I'm going to be. I'll be wherever she says I am on that day.
So that's 38. Is that dog years now? Is that how you doing that? I mean, hey,
wow.
So Mike, and I hope you're not presenting on opportunities cost at the meetings.
I am not. I'm specifically being brought in to talk about home loans and what it takes to qualify.
Raymond out here just throwing fire, and I love everything about it.
That was as a former economics professor, that was an economics professor joke, I guess. That was pretty bad. So that's cool. And that really is a few days before we go out there. But on the 30th is the City Running Scared event. There was just no way to get this all coordinated to have us working on the 30th with the city. And maybe next year, because I'm attending all those meetings now. But I did want to say that Mike and I had talked about trunk or treat. Okay, here's the thing. I need to know whose car it's going to be, because they need the length of the vehicle. I can register us, it's free. But we also have to provide candy for 4,000 children.
Jesus.
Well, if we want to use my truck, then we could do any kind of display, or put lawn chairs in the back of there and just kind of throw the candy out of a bucket. I mean, I think we have more options out of the back of a truck than we do out of a trunk, right?
Yeah. So okay. So your truck. How long is your truck?
I don't know. I can measure it if you want. I'll text it to you. Just
get back to me. Text me how long your truck is, and then anybody who's got suggestion on getting candy for 4,000 kids, Glenn. Let me know what your suggestion is, Glenn.
You know, so we used to get a whole lot of kids in the downtown corridor that would just come around because it was at a time where nobody else was giving out candy. It was like, 1 to 3 in the afternoon, and it wasn't typically on Halloween. So we'd get every little kid trick-or-treater and family. And personally, I just went to Costco and I bought the biggest bags I could get with the smallest, little fun size candy bars. And that seemed to be the best price per piece, if you will.
McScrooge McWallace over here. I don't know what to say to that statement, but to be fair, 4,000 kids. My stars.
4,000 kids.
That is asinine.
That's a lot of kids. But but we had 2,000 brochures, and we've gone through all of them. And so it's important that we're out there. We don't have a banner or anything. We'll have to work that out. But I think it's important we do attend that event. So okay. If anybody has a suggestion on buying candy, let me know. Also, we could dress up in costume if we want, but quite frankly, I'm scary enough as it is, so I'm going to go as I am. Lastly, I have is the Marine Corps dinner. Ticket sales, we've sold, I think, 72 tickets in a week. I don't doubt that it'll sell out. We sent out 869 letters. We have a fabulous now donor letter base. I'm glad that Chris actually popped off because he doesn't have to know about it. And we have to raise about $15,000, but I think that we'll be able to do that, and I'm pretty confident. So at this rate, also just the food drive, Holy Name of Mary asked me, could they take and modify the flyer because they needed it? The only way the priest would let them have it in their newsletter was if they took off the Masonic emblem. And I said, yeah, sure, I don't care. And they did. And I got a letter from a lady who tore out the thing from Arizona because she apparently gets our newsletter and then sent us a check for $100. I got another lady who sent us a check for $100, brought it to my house, and then went to a meeting 2 nights later and convinced that group to give us $200. And she brought that back to the house. And so the church over there has become a fabulous partner on the food drive for resources and just giving. So hats off to Holy Name of Mary. What a good group of people.
Action.
And how great is it that we got that connection with the truck to get everything up there in one haul? I mean, that is just a godsend.
And more than that, that guy is excited to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
stoked about doing it.
Doubled
up, Raymond. He is excited as hell to do it. You are definitely right about that.
And if somebody said you're going to drive a 54-foot van to 29 Palms and back, I'd be like, oh my God, that guy's excited. God bless him too for being so excited.
Yeah, right. And that's
well, I was 3 days away from driving a U-Haul.
That's right.
Yeah, also true.
So that's all of those events are looking good. Right after the Marine Corps dinner, I think we should just crank over the next food drive in March. And also we have scheduled, I believe it's November 17th, to go down to, we've been invited for the same kind of tour that we had at 29 Palms, to take it at Camp Pendleton and see what their base does, their Armed Services YMCA.
Oh, that'd be fascinating. I mean, as we know, last time we were there was it still exists. So let's go take a look and see why not. I didn't even know there was, I mean, hell, I was stationed at Camp Penn, well, 292, but at Camp Penn also, but Lord knows I don't remember a YMCA on there. And I was on Main side for part of it. So I would love to see that idea of what they got going on over there.
That's all I got.
No, absolutely. Okay, well, fantastic. So that was like I just got a secretary's report and the whole 9 yards, did I not? I got the damn calendar at the same time. Well, Raymond, you're proficient, so shocker. What a shocker. You're already there on top of it. What am I supposed to do with that? So then always, I like to pick Mike, but today it's going to be
Wait a
Glenn
second,
for
wait
the
a second,
vote.
wait a second, wait a second. Are we not, if we, sorry for the interruption. If we, well, the goal is 3 tons, but if we do more than that, that's still
throw it
okay as
away.
long as it's not 5.
We'll be-
I don't think, I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but if it looks like it's a problem, maybe this would be our entry down in Pendleton, because Pendleton will
Yeah, I
take
was gonna
whatever we
ask,
have.
is that, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think we look at Pendleton if we go over.
right. And as we know with campaign, with what we discussed with them, obviously we know that at this time of the year they're going to start getting more and so on and so forth. But yeah, this would be that introductory thing. When we stood there last time, Mike, Raymond, and I, we were looking at going like, okay, there has to be like a QR code almost essentially system, so we can start to kind of really see like, here's what we're donating to these guys. We have a number, but we walked into that one trailer with the diapers and everything, do we not, Raymond? And just go, my stars, you have how much? So it'd be good to know. But yeah, that might be our introduction into campaign from there. So with that said, Glenn, 4-way test, hit it.
The Rotary 4-way test. It is a test of the things we think, say, and do, our activities. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And that makes for happier interchanges between people.
Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate that so much. So with that said, hell of a speaker today, Mr. Irwin. The fact that they're on their way upwards, like I said, I really do. I have a good time looking at these things with my wife on Charity Navigator. And you'd be amazed how many times you think somebody's doing much better than they are. And you go, oh, that's what they do, huh? Because it's a very pragmatic breakdown of what they're doing. So it's good to know that having charities like that out there, that's wonderful to have. To say like we can help somebody like that and see what we can do for them. With that said, we already know the dates are coming up. If you know people who want to be part of it, what do we have? You said, how many spots was it, Raymond, for the Marine Corps dinner?
$50 a ticket, but sponsorships run from $250 to $1,000.
There you go. And we've sold, you said 70?
So far, 70 tickets have been sold. That's correct.
So you actually have 72, because like I told you before, my wife and I are already in.
You're part of the 70.
Oh, am I? Well, fantastic. I'll take that all day. And then we have how many more left?
30 tickets left.
Wonderful. I'm sure I got a couple of idiots that are jarheads that would love to buy those tickets also. So go out there, make sure they couldn't get tickets, and let's sell it and go up on it. It was a great time last year. I had fun. I got to hang out with Raymond. I got to hang out with Chris. I got to hang out with the captain for the sheriff's department. It was wonderful. Good time. A lot of great speakers. I even have to say something which sounds terrible, but I just basically just read whatever Raymond wrote for me, and I always appreciate that. So with that said, folks, I look forward to seeing you soon. Let's get after it. And we'll get we'll start out that big kickoff on Thursday, and then roll into Masonic Lodge on a Saturday.